What if I told you that the secret to raising a genuinely brilliant, calm, capable kid isn't some expensive tutor or a fancy private school, but something that happens before 7 in the morning, in tiny apartments all across Tokyo, completely for free? Stick with me on this one, because what Japanese parents do in those first 60 minutes after waking up is honestly wild when you break it down, and once you see it, you're going to want to steal every single piece of it for your own home. In most Japanese households, the day does not start with a phone screen or a frantic scramble. It starts with light. Curtains get pulled open immediately, because there's this deep cultural belief that natural morning light resets the body clock and switches the brain into focus mode way faster than any alarm ever could. The kid is not yanked out of bed and rushed, they're given a few quiet minutes to just exist, to stretch, to breathe, because Japanese parents understand something a lot of us forget, which is that a calm nervous system in the morning literally sets the tone for how a brain learns for the rest of the day. There's no yelling, no chaos, just this quiet, almost ceremonial start, and that ritual itself is a form of shitsuke, the deeply rooted Japanese concept of discipline that isn't about punishment at all. It's about training the body and mind through repetition until good behavior becomes second nature. After that calm wake up, the kid is expected to make their own futon, fold it, and put it away. Sounds small, right? Almost pointless. But this is where the genius really kicks in, because that one tiny task is the very first decision-making moment of the day, and Japanese parenting philosophy says that competence is built through small, repeated responsibilities, not big lectures. This is the same energy as Kaizen, the famous Japanese idea of continuous, incremental improvement, the same principle that turned Toyota into a global powerhouse, except here it's being applied to a 5-year-old's bedroom. 1% better every single day, starting with literally making your own bed. Then comes breakfast, and this is where the frugal living hacks come in hot. There is no $20 smoothie bowl situation happening here. It's rice as miso soup, maybe a piece of grilled fish or an egg, simple, nutrient-dense, and prepared in bulk the night before to save both money and time. Japanese moms are absolute legends at batch cooking and meal prepping on a budget, because the mindset is that you don't need variety every single day, you need consistency and nutrition. And that consistency frees up mental energy for the kid instead of draining it with decision fatigue before 8 in the morning. This is minimalism in its purest form, not the aesthetic Pinterest version, but the actual lived philosophy of owning less, choosing less, and being way more intentional about what actually matters. Here's where it gets really interesting though. The kid isn't just eating breakfast, they're usually setting the table, pouring their own tea, sometimes even washing their own bowl right after. And this connects straight into omwayari, this beautiful concept of anticipating the needs of others before they even have to ask. By cleaning up after themselves at 4 or 5 years old, the child is unconsciously learning that their actions affect the people around them, that comfort and order in a shared space is everyone's job, not just mom's. Compare that to a household where everything is done for the kid, and you start to see why Japanese children, even really young ones, often show this insane level of independence and emotional awareness that catches foreign visitors completely off guard. The walk to school is its own masterclass too. In most cities across Japan, kids as young as 6 are walking or taking public transport to school completely on their own, no parent hovering, no car drop-off line. This is Tokyo-style efficiency at its core, a trust-based system built on community safety, but psychologically it does something huge. It hands the child real-world responsibility and problem-solving practice every single day, twice a day, rain or shine. They learn to read maps, manage time, navigate strangers, and self-regulate, and neuroscience backs this up hard. Independent navigation and unsupervised social interaction at a young age are directly linked to stronger executive function and sharper problem-solving skills later in life. And underneath every single one of these small rituals, the bed making, the meal prep, the solo walk to school, there's this quiet, almost invisible thread connecting it all back to ikigai, the Japanese idea of having a reason for being, a sense of purpose woven into your daily life. Parents aren't drilling academics into toddlers at 6 in the morning. They're building a foundation of competence, contribution, and quiet confidence. And that foundation is exactly what lets a child's natural intelligence actually flourish later on. Because a kid who already feels capable and useful is a kid whose brain is free to focus on curiosity instead of anxiety. So here's the real takeaway, and it's bigger than just a morning routine. The Japanese approach to raising sharp, emotionally grounded kids isn't about cramming in more lessons or more screen time disguised as learning. It's about stripping the morning down to its essentials and filling that simple structure with small doses of responsibility, calm, and purpose. You don't need a bigger house, a private tutor, or a $100 parenting course to raise a high IQ kid. You need consistency, you need trust, and you need to let your child do hard, small things on their own every single day, starting the moment they open their eyes. That, more than any flashcard or app ever could, is what actually builds a brilliant mind.